Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on Voice of the People Television. I am Fina Okechukwu. The headlines. Anambra State welcomes President Tinubu. Akpabio sues Senator Natasha over apology letter to mock him. Governor Oti urged IGP to arrest Abure for impersonation. Reps panel probes 200 billion naira CBN loan to discourse. FG to raise $186 million from green bonds to fund clean energy projects. Children, others injured as heavy rainfall wreak havoc in Calabar. In business, Afrexim Bank unveils $1 billion African Film Fund. In sports, PSG knocks out Arsenal to reach Champions League final. And in the world of entertainment, Nollywood actor Oke Bakassi officially crowned king. Now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu is due in Anambra State about now in his first official visit to the state. VOP TV correspondent in Anambra State, Ndwakbaleze, disclosed that the president will proceed from the Chinua Achebe Airport, Umueri, Anambra State, to Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, where he will inaugurate the Emeka Anyoko Education Center. From the university, the president and his entourage will move to the Solution Fund City, an entertainment and relaxation center built by the state government. According to the itinerary released by the Anambra State Commissioner for Information, Law Mefo, after commissioning the Solution Fund City, President Tinubu will move over to commission the new government house completed by Governor Soludo before going to Dr. Alex Ekweme Square, the venue for the reception. Our correspondent reports that the atmosphere in Awka, capital city, is charged with security and traffic guides in places, while citizens of Anambra State are trooping into the reception venue. As the case may be, we have more of this report for you from our correspondent in Awka Station, Ndu Okbaleze, will keep you up to date with the information. Meanwhile, the Anambra State government and security agencies have declared their readiness for the president's visit. The State Commissioner for Information Law Mefo earlier told newsmen that said all hands are on deck to ensure the visit is successful and memorable. Security agencies have also intensified effort to guarantee a safe environment for the visit. The police public relations officer in the state, the SP Tochukwu Ikenga, confirmed that comprehensive security arrangements have been concluded. Some roads have been closed to ease the president's movement and maintain security. Please stay tuned to connect to VOP TV for live updates and in-depth coverage of the president's visit, as we'll bring you exclusive live reporting and real-time insight from our team in Awka, Anambra State. In another development, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has filed a new lawsuit against suspended Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan, accusing her of mocking him in a satirical apology post on social media. The lawsuit filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja seeks to compel the suspended Kogi Central Senator to delete the post from all her platforms. Akpabio is also demanding a written apology to be published in at least 2 national newspapers and an affidavit of compliance confirming she has met these conditions. Akpabio's legal team, led by Kehinde Ogumuji, argued that Senator Natasha's post was a violation of a court order issued on 4th April, which barred both parties from making public statements regarding ongoing sexual harassment allegations until the conclusion of the case. In politics, Governor Alex Oti of Abia State has reacted to the report of his suspension by the Julius Saburo-led faction of the Labour Party, calling on the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Ebetokun, to quickly arrest Abure for alleged impersonation. Oti, who spoke through the special advisor on media and publicity, Ferdinand Ekoma, described the news of his suspension as a joke, taken too far, and an affront on democracy. According to Governor Oti, the Supreme Court had ruled that Julius Abure is no longer the national chairman of the LP, while the Ninadi Usman-led caretaker committee has stripped Abure the authority to parade himself as the national chairman of Labour Party. Governor Oti urged Nigerians to disregard the news of his suspension by Abure. Moving on, the House of Representatives is to investigate disbursement and utilization of the 200 billion naira Central Bank of Nigeria loan for National Mass Metering Program to electricity distribution companies. The chairman of the committee, Uchenna Okonkwo, made this known in a statement issued in Abuja, adding that 19-member committee had been inaugurated for the purpose. He said that the main objective of committee was to carry out investigation on the program embarked upon in 2020 to enable the licensed electricity distribution companies provide electricity meters free for Nigerian electricity consumers. Okonkwo explained that the aim was to help manage conflicts between energy users and distribution companies and to facilitate the elimination of arbitrary billing, closing metering gaps, and improving network monitoring. The lawmaker said that the program was to be implemented in 3 phases to ensure the reduction of collection losses and improve market remittances in the industry. Still in the news, the federal government says there are plans to raise $186 million from green bonds in 2 separate offerings before the end of the year to support its economic transformation and climate goals. Green bonds are fixed income, liquid financial instruments used to raise funds dedicated to climate mitigation, adaptation, and other environment-friendly projects. The Minister of Environment, Baba Rabe Lawal, made this known in an interview with Bloomberg. He said the bonds, expected to be offered in 2 separate tranches, includes $31 million green bond to be issued within the next 2 weeks and a $155 million issuance in October. The minister explained that the green bond is part of the government's strategy of accelerating the environmental agenda implemented through a mix of national reforms, state-level coordination, and cross-border cooperation aimed at building resilience against climate change. Lawal also said that the fund raised will support water security, green mass transit, and clean energy projects. Away from that report, the federal government has established an inter-agency task force to fast-track and address challenges delaying President Bola Tinubu's approved conditional cash transfer to 15 million vulnerable households in Nigeria. The Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkocha, made this known in a statement. Nkocha disclosed that the Inter-Agency Task Force comprises the National Identity Management Commission, National Social Safety Nets Coordinating Office, National Cash Transfer Office, Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System. He further disclosed that the federal government has now commenced the implementation phase of its economic and financial inclusion strategy aimed at improving access to economic opportunities for Nigerians through the newly established task force. Elsewhere, several persons, including children, were severely injured, while more than 200 houses were destroyed after a downpour accompanied by heavy storms hit Calabar, the Cross River State capital, on Wednesday evening. After 2 hours of intensive rains, vehicular movements were also disrupted. Trees and electric poles were brought down. Rooftops were blown off, and several buildings were destroyed, rendering many persons homeless. The storm also brought down several electricity poles in different parts of the city, forcing the Port Harcourt electricity distribution to cut off power supply from the affected areas. The rain, which started with a heavy windstorm and thunder. It lasted for about 2 hours, also disrupted economic activities as the metropolis was overflooded and major drainage were blocked. Meanwhile, the state government has advised residents of the affected areas to take precaution by trimming overgrown trees in and around their vicinity. The Commissioner for Information, Erasmus Ebang, in a statement, urged residents to avoid broken down electricity poles and wires to ward off any impending danger or fatality. Ebang implored all relevant government agencies and officials, including the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, to rectify damages caused to electricity facilities in wake of the disaster, to restore power supply and clear the debris in the overall interest of the citizens. Away from the story, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria says it closed the registration of pilgrims for the 2025 Hajj on May 2nd to enable it to concentrate on airlift of pilgrims. The commission said that any Hajj fare deposits received after May 2 would be duly refunded. Assistant Director, Information and Publication Division, NACON, Hajia Usara, said this in a statement that was made available to newsmen in Abuja. She said that the inaugural flight for this year's Hajj was scheduled to take off from Owerri, the Imo State capital. The NACON spokesperson said that 315 pilgrims from Ibo, Abia, and Bayelsa were scheduled to board the Air Peace airline for the trip. It's time for the news analysis, and joining us to help make sense of today's midday news is Mr. Peter Anosike, a seasoned writer and also a reporter, and he's in the studio this afternoon in capacity of a public affairs analyst. Just for you to understand also that the president also is set to visit Anambra State today, and we have our team ready on ground. We have Ndo Malese, our correspondent, covering the event. So we'll be getting you live feed from what is happening in Awka, the Anambra State capital, during the course of the midday news. Good afternoon, Mr. Peter Anosike.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you join today's midday news. Now, interestingly, we have a story from the first one that I would like us to address is the damage of the rainstorm. You know, we learned that there was a 2 hours rainfall, a heavy pour that happened in Calabar, Cross River State yesterday. And, because of this particular storm, we learned that houses were destroyed and a whole lot. I think over 200 houses were destroyed. And a downpour also happened in that particular area where we learned that poles also fell and all that. Now, this also, why I pointed out to this fact is the fact that NIMET the other day went on strike, talking about how they are not being treated well. And this is a rainy season. And the whole lot of, they've pointed out so many things to say that some places will be flooded. And, why should we wait up until this time for something like that to happen?
Well,
that vehicular movements are being obstructed.
NIMET used the most critical time to go on strike. They picked the most critical time that to go on strike. That's the time that they were needed most, which is during the rainy season. But whatever anybody is doing, it should have a human face, because NIMET going on strike when they are needed most, that is not good. But government should have attended to their needs.
All right, talking about the government attending to their needs now, today we learned that the president is going to Awka, Anambra State. First, what do you make of that? Because Nigerians are beginning to talk. He first went to Katsina State on a 2-day working visit, and now he is moving to Anambra State, Awka. Awka, the capital of Anambra State. Now, what do you make of this visit by the president?
Well,
as the case may be?
For me, it is a good news for the people of Anambra State, because he's going to commission some projects, which shows that the governor is working. And the governor has done a lot within 3 years. His predecessor constructed only 87 kilometers of road in 8 years. That's Windy Obiano.
Yeah.
But within 3 years, Governor Soludo has constructed over 400 kilometers of road, which is a very good thing for the people of Anambra State, because government is for the people. So it is a good thing that the governor is going there and to commission projects, not to go to declare state of emergency. Understand? So it is a good thing for the people of Anambra State.
No, but some persons also have come up to, align this with what happened in Katsina State, where, we learned that the president did not just go to Katsina to commission the mechanized agricultural facility that was built in the state, and also, I think 140 something kilometer roads also that was being constructed by the governor. But he went for the wedding, the daughter's wedding, which some persons have come up to liken that to more like a political campaign gearing towards 2027. Do you think that was also happening in Anambra State now, when he's been invited to commission some projects? And we know that Anambra State's having their election by November this particular year, 2025.
No, this is an opportunity for the governor to showcase what he is doing. I know that for 8 years, Governor Baguda, who is the current minister of budgets, that time he was the chairman of APC governors. For 8 years, Buhari did not go to Kebbi to commission a single project, which means the governor did nothing in 8 years. So for Soludo to invite all the president, it shows that he is working. So the president is going there to kind of add to Soludo's campaign. So APC cannot say that the governor is not doing anything. So this is also a campaign start for the governor himself. The president was here a few months ago to commission my projects. So it shows that the governor is really doing something.
All right. Interestingly, it shows that the president is doing something.
No, the governor is doing something.
Okay, the governor is doing something,
yes.
not the president.
No,
now, why do you say so? Why are we drawing the line, between what the governor is doing and differentiating from what the president is doing?
The president is going to commission projects that the governor did. Yes. So the president is just going there to commission the project that the governor executed. So it shows that the governor is doing something. So the purpose of the president to Anambra State is to commission projects.
So you're not seeing any political moving, into this particular one? No, because we have permutation to that effect. Recall that before the primary elections were being done in Anambra State, also people were talking about how it looks like there might be another shift from what is happening in Anambra State under the AFCON or Progressive Grand Alliance. Maybe there might be a shift from that party to APC, like what happened in Delta State. No,
APC now have their own governorship candidate.
Yes.
And Soludo is doing well. You don't, you must return a winning team. So Soludo is a winning team.
Interesting one. Soludo is a winning team, he says. But let's move away from that. Like I told you earlier, we'll keep you abreast. We'll keep giving you live feed from Awka, Anambra State. Recall that today, being the 8th day in the month of May, the President Bola Tinubu will be visiting Anambra State to commission a series of projects that being constructed by the governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo. Now, away from that, we have another one. It's more like the back and forth between Natasha Akpabio and Senate President. Gosila Akpabio is not going to die down anytime soon. Now, we learned that Akpabio is slamming Natasha, who happens to be a suspended senator representing Kogi Central, with a lawsuit again because of the letter of apology she tendered sometime last week, which a whole lot of Nigerians are reacting to. Now, what do you make of first that particular letter of apology that she tendered?
Well, she was not properly guided, and she's a lawyer. She's supposed to know when you tender an apology, you have admitted guilt, you've admitted error, you've admitted a mistake. So as a lawyer, she ought not to have done that.
But does that letter sound more like an apology, or is it a way to further adding insult to injury to what is already happening already?
It is just like when somebody tells you with due respect. Insult comes after that. Understand me? So that's exactly what Natasha did.
But now, with this lawsuit that we have here against Natasha Akpabio, Akpabio is accusing her of mocking him in a satirical apology post. And he also is demanding that such posts should be pulled down from all her social media handle.
Well, that's still supposed to be for defamation. Understand? But Akpabio cannot prove that he has a good character in court because he has series of cases with the EFCC. So he cannot say that his character was dented because he has none. All Natasha needs to do is to go and bring out those cases that he has in court to show that Akpabio has no reputation to protect.
All right, now, still talking politics, we have a back and forth with the Labour Party. I know you're aware of this particular story, this question I'm going to ask now. On one hand, we have the Julius Abure faction-led LP suspending Alex Oti and some other senators that were being elected on Labour Party as a platform, including Nanadi Usman also accusing them of anti-party activities. And on one hand, again, we have Alex Oti, who happens to be if I'm to use the word, should be the #1 person in the party as the only executive elected officer under that platform now, asking IGP Egbetokun to arrest Abure for impersonation. What do you really make of this whole saga happening in Labour Party?
Well, for me, somebody else is fueling the crisis in LP. Somebody else. Abure is being sponsored to cause crisis in LP. And if you know what that word Abure means, a deceitful person, go ask any Benin man, that's the meaning of Abure. A very deceptive person. So he is acting his name. He is acting his name. So he is being used to destroy LP. Now, you just have an only governor in your party, which other parties are praying for because state sponsors the political parties. And you have one and you are suspending him. For what? How do you now want to be funding other parties? Is it from your own pocket? Which businesses do you have? So this shows he's been sponsored to create a crisis in the party. And that's exactly what he is doing. And again, INEC is also fueling this matter. Because I remember when there was crisis in AFCON, because AFCON has a website where they always put the names of national chairmen of the parties in INEC website. Previously, it was Edozie Njoku that AFCON recognized, that INEC recognized. Then when the Supreme Court gave a judgment that Snai Okenwa is the authentic national chairman of AFCON, Edozie Njoku's name was removed and they put Okenwa's own. Why have they not done that with AFCON? With LP? So INEC is also helping to fuel this crisis because when they say that political issues are family matters, we shouldn't be entertained by the court. That's a confusion. And that is why Abure is still holding on to calling himself the national chairman. Okay. So INEC should come and say who is the acting national chairman of AFCON or who is not. So of LP.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter Anosike. I guess here's what we'll have to, call it a wrap on today's Midday News analysis. Yeah. Thank you so much. We've been speaking with Mr. Peter Anosike, whom we told you is a reporter and also VOPTV in-house political analyst. You're still watching the Midday News and Voice of the People television. More stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Media News and Voice of the People television. The police have summoned their officers caught in viral videos over what they describe as unprofessional conduct in the discharge of their duties. Disclosing this in a statement on X, Force spokesman Muyiwa Adejobi stated that the cases involved officers serving in Benin, Edo State, and a traffic officer in the Federal Capital Territory. They say the officers in Edo were identified to be attached to the Zone 5 counter-terrorism unit. Adejobi stated that their invitation to the force headquarters was in response to multiple complaints of high-handedness by some operatives around Airport Road in Benin, Edo State. Elsewhere, Edo State Governor Monday Ebolo has approved some infrastructure projects in all producing areas and initiated repairs on 23.4 kilometers of damaged portions along the Benin-Sapele Road. Edo State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Paul Ohon Bamo, disclosed that Governor Ebolo's administration is prioritizing the well-being of the people by promoting development that directly benefits them. The commissioner further disclosed that the State Executive Council approved the immediate commencement of the Benin-Sapele Road repairs. The approved projects include the construction of roads, markets, jetties, and provision of electricity across Awka and Ovia North-East local government areas. Other projects include the construction of internal roads and erosion control on Ekenwa Road. Here in Lagos, the state government says it has issued 37,266 building planning permits over the past 6 years to support urban development across residential, commercial, institutional, and mixed-use projects. The Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, shared the update during the 2025 ministerial press briefing at the Bagauda Council Press Center, Ikeja. He highlighted the role of the Lagos State Fiscal Planning Permit Authority in overseeing the approval process and emphasizing the government's commitment to improving the state's urban landscape while ensuring safety and regulatory compliance. Still in Lagos State, government has issued a traffic advisory information that the public that ACME Road in Ikeja will be closed to all vehicular traffic on Saturday, May 10, 2015, to accommodate the APC primaries being held at the APC State Secretariat. The announcement was made through a statement shared on the official X account of the Lagos State government. In the statement, the Lagos State government outlined that as part of the measures to enhance security and manage traffic flows during the event, motorists will not be able to access ACME Road from critical entry points, including Adeni Jones, Latif Jakonde, and ACM Crescent. The full closure of the road is intended to ensure smooth operations throughout the primaries, while also minimizing congestion in the area. Like we rightly told you during the news, from the beginning of the news, that the president will be visiting Awka, the capital of Anambra State, today to commission some projects in the state, also for him to also examine and see the works being put in place by the sitting governor of Anambra State, Governor Chukwuma Soludo. We have our correspondent, Ndo Malese, there live to give us the feeds from the presidential visit.
Right here, we are a site where an edifice is put to a former elder statesman and a nationalist, Chief Emeka Institute for International Studies and President. As a matter of fact, that is the first thing he will do was inside Anambra State University, popularly called. Seated here is the eminent nationalist. Seated here is His Royal Majesty Igwe Alfred Nkachebe Abogidi Obi of Onisha, so many other people like senators, former Senator Ben Ndi Obi, and a serving member of the National Assembly, Uche Harris Okonkwo, representing Idemili North and South Federal Constituency in the National Assembly. Already seated are also royal fathers, religious leaders, the academia. As a matter of fact, the acting Vice Chancellor is also here, and everybody that matters. Even the DG of the Institute, Professor Eyun Onyelu, is also seated, and everybody from signals that are already coming, few meters away from this place, and any moment now from the commission. And just like I said, the name is Chief Emeka Nyoku, Institute for International Studies and Diplomacy. Thank you.
That, covering this live feed for the presidential visit is a wonderful one.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Ndok Malaysia. I don't need to ask you again how's the atmosphere in Awka, Anambra State is, given the fact that I can see beautiful people and beautiful setup also there. You are also smiling, showing that everything is in order for the presidential visit and the commissioning of the projects that have been, erected by the sitting Governor Chukwuma Soludo. Now, you made mention of some dignitaries that are also there. We learned that the police also were asked to, kind of condo or maybe put out, close some roads so that the visitation by the president will be seamless. We're going to have a wonderful event there in Awka. Now, I would like you to tell us, from the person that I've been able to interact with, what was their reaction like, given the fact that some persons, especially those in opposition, are kind of kicking against the work that the governor of Anambra State is doing in Anambra State?
People of Anambra State, not to any political party per se, so I wouldn't know if anybody is kicking or not kicking, but I can tell you for sure that this place, the atmosphere is charged. People are happy, people are ready to welcome Mr. President, and these are calls across all sectors, calls across political parties, across religious device, across ethnic device. Say it, even the Yoruba community in Awka is here. Everybody is here. And like we are talking about the roads, yes, there will be restrictions to movement in certain areas so that there will be ease of movement in terms of security. It does not mean actually that people are suffering, but because they already know in advance that things are moving. I think it's something that is worth the while.
So does that mean that other economic activities in Awka, the capital of Anambra State, is being held today too? Like you rightly pointed out, the people are aware that the president will be visiting Awka today. We have the Awka market, that we know is close to the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, and there's Alex Ekweme Square. Are there activities in those areas too?
Awka market, that is the Awka, is not actually very close to Nnamdi Azikiwe, that's the Ekweme Square. But like I said, where we are is Nnamdi Azikiwe University, is off Alex Ekweme Square. It's different from the venue of reception. But I want to tell you that shops are open in areas where there are restriction of movement. If you are restricted from coming across the road, it does not mean that you cannot do your business. Shops, businesses are open. I cannot say exactly about the Awka market because I haven't passed through that zone. But I don't see why it should not be open unless they decide on their own. But most of the shops, business premises are open doing their businesses, and people are transacting their business, going about their normal businesses without hindrance. That's what I can say for now.
All right, thank you so much, Ndok Baleze. Because from what we got here, it shows that the president will be moving from Chinua Achebe Airport in Owerri, and there he will move to inaugurate the Emeka Anyoko Education Center. From there, he will also inaugurate the Soludo, the Solution Fund City, an entertainment and relaxation center built, by the state governor. Yes. This is more like a beautiful one. And also a handful for the president to be able to navigate all in the city center today in Anambra State.
Yes, it's actually a handful of activities. But I think it's one that any president will be happy to do. One is that they are not too far away from each other, and they are legacy projects that any president will want to identify with. So I'm not his person, but I'm sure that Mr. President will be happy to go the whole hog to commission all these projects because everybody will want to identify with.
All right, thank you so much. And Baleze will also be getting the live feed more from you during the course of the Midday News and also during the course of subsequent program. We're looking forward to getting or hearing from you when the president is in that particular arena there in Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Awka. You're still watching the Midday News on Voice of the People television. Now, away from the presidential visitation in Awka, Anambra State, we'll bring you back again to the Major News Bulletin here. A political advocacy group is calling for strict enforcement of constitutional term limits for local government chairmen in Lagos State. The Progressives Group for Democracy says attempts by some council leaders to seek a third term in office are illegal and reminiscent of former President Olusegun Obasanjo's failed third term agenda. Voice of the People's Television, Matthew Ogunsuada reports.
That President Bola Tinubu and the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, take immediate action to stop what it calls unconstitutional tenure elongation by some Lagos local government chairmen. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, the group's national coordinator, Aladesomi Abiodun Salawu, urged the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission to disqualify any candidate who has already served 2 terms. Salawu cited the First Alteration Bill No. 16, signed into law by former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2018, which bars any public official from taking the oath of office more than twice, even if one of the terms was completed through succession. The group insists that allowing such violations would weaken Nigeria's democratic institutions and set a dangerous precedent at the grassroots level. As Voice of the People television, we are on the street to gather the views of Nigerians towards these developments.
Actually, the two-time tenure is okay. It's okay because I think that this thing, there's no reason for expanding the tenure because what they did in the first time, and at least they should be able to complete whatever they are doing in the second time.
What is relevant is your work in the office. If you do well in the office, then you can be given a chance. No matter how long they give you, if you are not productive, then you have no reason to be there. And what we normally see these days is they try to favor their political opponents. And in a Senate line, it doesn't work that way. The political atmosphere in Nigeria doesn't have good structures. Both PDP and APC, they don't have good structures.
We have not yet seen their improvements. So basically, in Lagos, whether Lagos or in the entire country, there is no election that is legit. Understand? Our leaders are becoming fraudsters by the day. So our elections are not even really counting anymore. So this is what I can contribute to this, whether in Lagos or outside Lagos, but majorly in Lagos.
As we've heard from citizens and various stakeholders, the call to stop the proposed third-term tenure for Lagos local government chairmen highlights growing concerns for democracy and governance. We will continue to monitor this development closely, providing you with further updates. Matthew Ogunsuada, reporting for Voice of TV.
Thank you so much, Matthew Ogunsuada, for that wonderful coverage. Moving over to the business segment of the Midday News Bulletin. The African Export-Import Bank, through its Development Impact Investment arm, the Fund for Export Development in Africa, has unveiled a $1 billion African Film Fund to revolutionize the continent's films and creative industry. The fund, launched under the Creative African Exit program, aims to support the production and global distribution of African films and television content, addressing key infrastructure and financing challenges that have stifled growth in the sector. The bank disclosed in a statement that the Africa Film Fund will be managed through FEDA as a private equity vehicle, offering long-term capital to enable the creation of high-quality content and empower African storytellers to compete globally. President of Afrexim Bank, Benedict Orama, stated that the establishment of the Africa Film Fund is timely as it will help accelerate the growth of Africa's creative sector, which has witnessed rapid growth but continues to face significant challenges, including funding, scaling, and accessing global market. Still in business, investors in the Nigerian stock market raked in a 307 billion naira gain amid increased buying interest. This comes as Nigerian Exchange Limited market capitalization rose by 307 billion naira or 0.45% to close at 68.412 trillion naira compared with 68.105 trillion naira on Tuesday. Similarly, the all-share index also climbed by 488.73 points or 0.45% to settle at 108,849.83. This gain was driven by strong buying interest in medium and large cap stocks. The market, the fourth consecutive session of gain since last week. In spite of the upward trend, the market breadth also closed positive with 52 gainers and 17 losers. In sports, Paris Saint-Germain will have a second chance to win the Champions League as it reached the final 3-1 on aggregate over Arsenal with a 2-1 home victory. Fabian Ruiz fired the opener in the 27 minutes of the game. Ashraf Hakimi scored the second in the 72nd for the French champions, who 3 minutes earlier had failed to convert a penalty from Vitinha. Arsenal got a lifeline from Bukayo Saka in the 76th, but it was enough for the Gunners, who had wasted top chances in the opening minutes. In the Munich final on May 31, PSG will face three-time champions Inter Milan, who won a semi-final tie for the 7-2 on aggregate against Barcelona. Still in sports, Flying Eagles head coach Aliyu Zubairu has reacted to his team's stalemate against Kenya. Nigeria forced the Rising Stars to a 2-2 draw in their final group game at the 2025 African Under-20 Cup of Nations on Wednesday. The 9-time champions finished second in Group B behind Morocco, who defeated Tunisia 2-1. Zubairu stated that the Kenyans made things difficult for his team in the game. With the Flying Eagles still awaiting their quarterfinal opponent, Zubairu declared that they are now firmly focused on that contest. In entertainment, veteran Nollywood actor and comedian Oke Bakassi has been crowned the king of the Umu Ihuocha community in Imo State. Oke Bakassi was officially presented as the traditional ruler of Umu Ihuocha Autonomous Community in Mbaise by his kinsmen in a video he shared on social media. The coronation of the actor, now known as His Royal Highness Eze Okechukwu Onyebule, the Okwe second of Umu Ihuocha Obiohia, was a grand celebration of Igbo culture and tradition. Recall that Oke Bakassi's coronation came barely 2 weeks after he announced his appointment as the traditional ruler. Still in entertainment, the Lagos Zonal Directorate, one of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, has arraigned popular music promoter Ezekiel Thank God, popularly known as Easy T, before Justice Chukwuje Kwaneke at the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, Lagos. Tangoed alongside his company in Easy Global Concept Limited is facing a refiled 7-count amended charge bordering on alleged foreign exchange violations and money laundering amounting to $397,106. The case, which initially commenced before Justice Owoeye of the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, was reassigned to Justice Anike for further proceedings. The defendants pleaded not guilty to all charges when they were read out in court. Following the plea, prosecuting counsel Bekisiu Buhari Bala requested the court to fix a date for trial and urged that the defendant be remanded in a correctional center. However, defense counsel Chika Ozulu Ojukwu appealed to the court to grant his client bail and to permit him to remain in his custody pending trial. Buhari Bala informed the court that the prosecution had filed a counter-affidavit sworn by EFCC investigator Mohammed Adamu on March 4, 2025, opposing the bail application. She noted that the defendant had evaded service on several occasions and had consistently failed to respond to invitation from the commission despite having been granted administrative bail. Consequently, she urged the court not to grant the request for the defendant's release to his counsel. Justice Anike adjourned ruling on the bail application until 9 May 2025 and in the interim released the defendant into the custody of his lawyer. That is it on the Midday News and Voice of the People TV. Before we go, another look at the headlines. Anambra State welcomes President Bola Tinubu today. Akpabio sues Senator Natasha over apology letter to mock him. Governor Oti urged IGP to arrest Abure for impersonation. Reps panel probes 200 billion naira CBN loan to discourse. FG to raise $186 million from green bonds to fund clean energy projects. Children, others injured as heavy rainfall wreak havoc in Calabar. In business, we told you that Afrexim Bank unveils $1 billion African Film Fund. In sports, Paris Saint-Germain knocks out Arsenal to reach Champions League final. In entertainment, Nollywood actor Oke Bakassi officially crowned as king in Mbaise. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on all the social media platforms, we are VOP TV Live. And just for you to know that VOP TV will be getting you live feed from the presidential visit to Awka in Anambra State. Do well to stay with us. I am Fina Okechukwu. Good afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President. I'm very happy to announce you that His Excellency the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has is here with us. The first visit of the President to the University, we salute you.
Hello. Yeah, if you can hear from the background, the siren heralded the arrival of Mr. University Awka, venue of the commissioning ceremony of Emeka Anyoko Institute for International Studies and Diplomacy is on. And everybody is also already lined up by the red carpet. Standing there, I can see Iyom Josephine Anene. I can also see Prince Uchenna Harris Okonkwo representing the Demili North and South Africa constituency in the National Assembly. I can see Igwe Alfred Nnemeka Achebe, Abogidi Obi of Onitsha, standing there. Also Senator Mike Ajebo, Senator Ndie Obi, and also the director of the AU Nonyelo. and also the acting Vice Chancellor of University, Professor Joseph Ikechebala. Every blind up, like I said before, the camera are clicking, and any moment from now, the vehicle bearing Mr. President will be here on the red carpet. All eyes on the ball, all eyes on the road. It has been a big event, a long time planning for this event. For those who may not remember Chief Emeka Anyoku, he was the Commonwealth Secretary General, and also from Nigeria, and also from Anambra State. He has been a diplomat, once a minister of foreign affairs, and a career diplomat. So it is not out of place that an institute that like this is bequeathed unto him in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. International studies and diplomacy is actually his forte, and a lot of people think this is something that is worth the name. And conspicuously present here are members of the Chinese community who are of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. They call it the Confucius Institute, where they do international studies, especially majoring in Chinese language. They are here in their numbers. Religious leaders, bishops, other members of the clergy, the traditional rulers, the UNIZIC population, staff and management of Nnamdi Azikiwe University are well represented in their numbers, and everything is well organized. Of course, security is top-notch. Security is top-notch, and everything is going on as well organized as we can think of. If you listen from afar, you can hear the martial band stationed at the junction there, close to where the president will pass before he gets into this arena. Everybody is ready, waiting for Mr. President. Mr. President, we know, is going to be accompanied by his host, Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, and of course, other members of his entourage. They have been expected. The first vehicle during the initial protocol runs has come. Everybody is waiting. Looking around, you can see the banners and buntings all set, well colorfully displayed. One says UNIZIC, Nabatonyi Siala, that is Igbo language for you. And I also hardly read this, Ekwabo, Alakoso Ilewa, I think that is Yoruba for you. And also other Nigerian languages, all put together by the authorities of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University to welcome Mr. President to the institute. So we are by the side. One of the banners here said, "Welcome, no, Unisala." And we have pictures of the Southeast governors there, led by the host governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, speak. Then His Excellency Alex Oti, Governor of Abia State, Then His Excellency, Right Honorable Francis Rifa, Governor of Ebonyi State, His Excellency Peter Mba, Governor of Enugu State, and His Excellency Hope Uzodinma, Governor of Imo State. All of them saying, welcome to His Excellency Senator Bola Tinubu, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Everybody is waiting, and everybody is complaining. I want to say that the weather is supplement. It's not raining and it's also not too hot that we cannot come out. Of course, the weather is sunny, but people are patiently and comfortably waiting to receive Mr. President. Right there in town, people are also showing their ways of welcoming the President by way of banners, by street roads and corners. Canopies are in place and people are seated, communities are seated, patiently waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. President. I can hear the siren very far away, and also the traditional gun salute is already given out. Already given out the information that Mr. President is close by.
The President, the number one citizen of this great nation, shall be arriving at Anambra University in a few minutes' time. It is a great honor to host Mr. President, who is also the visitor to this great university. By the position of being the visitor of the grace of this great university, is also the one that presides over this great institution. He has his lieutenants, and they are here, their numbers.
Basically, a Senator Uche has just walked in. We all know her. She has rotated as Senator General of the Southeast Government. Senator Ben Diobi and Senator Mike Ajabi, as well as Prince Uche Harris Okonkwo, North and South Federal Constituency.
Is also here. The distinguished Senator Sani is also here, our dear friend, and of course, distinguished Senator Ben Diobi will continue to salute you. The distinguished Senator is also here waiting. Standing in joyful
I can hear the siren very, very well. It's no longer getting closer, but any moment from now, Mr. President and his entourage will arrive in this arena. This is an occasion that people are waiting for. This institute, when erected, of course, will help a lot in deepening engagements and studies in international relations and diplomacy. Nigeria is a member of the international community, and we cannot afford not to. So when a career diplomat thought it wise for this institute to come up, I think everybody is happy for that. And President is also coming here to give a nod of his own approval for this thoughtful
Ladies and gentlemen, as soon as the calls to be lifted into this great incident, general, former Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations. It is a beautiful contract. And he's coming in with some governors, some distinguished senators of the Federal Republic, members of the House of Representatives, and so many other dignitaries. You can see the executive governors coming in their numbers. We welcome them to Anambra State University. The executive governor of the Enugu State, the executive governor of Delta State, the executive governor of Imo State, the executive governor of the Ebonyi State, the executive governor of Sokoto.
The long-awaited time is here.
We welcome you.
Music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. Good morning. It's the start of your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday. Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Oshodi is a vibrant, bustling district in Lagos, Nigeria, known for its energetic mix of commerce, culture, and resilience. It is a place where opportunity and chaos thrive together, reflecting the city's dynamic spirit. Before Oshodi became a symbol of Lagos hustle, it was a quiet settlement occupied people, one of the earliest Yoruba subgroups in the region. The name Oshodi is believed to have been derived from Balogun Oshodi Tapa, a war captain under the famous Yoruba.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more.
Join me on Sundays every 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Voice of the People TV.
Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Step into a world where stories unfold, secrets unravel, and dreams come alive. Every story has a legacy. Every legacy holds the power to inspire. A unique interview series that celebrates the lives of Nigeria's elder statesmen and women through their remarkable journeys in the military, diplomacy, public service, academia, medicine, and beyond. Conversation that transcends generations, offering guidance to youth leaders, diplomats, technocrats, and future change makers. We unveil the wisdom, resilience, and achievements that shapes our nation and the world. Join us every Sunday on Voice of the People television. Reminiscence, legacies that leads the way, stories that lives on.
Everybody keep watching Voice of the People. All right? Love you all.
Hello, sweetie. What's going on? My name is Kiki. Keep watching VOP TV. Thanks.
Hey guys, what's going on? Midday, the Fresh Prince of Lagos here, and this is VOP TV, guys.
Hello guys, I want you to please keep on watching VOP TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hafiz Oyetoro. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Shout out to VOP TV.
Very big shout out to the fans and lovers of VOP TV. My name is Tayo Faduro. I'm an actor that you are going to live to love. Keep watching. Cheers.
Hi everyone, so shout out to VOP TV.
Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. It's the fundamental right of everyone to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health without distinction of race, religion, or political belief. On VOP TV, we bring you Health Check, a show that x-rays different health issues and provides solutions with the help of experts in the medical field. Join us every Saturday, 2 p.m. on Health Check. Health Check on VOP TV. Your health, our priority. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday. the extraordinary. Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Oshodi is a vibrant, bustling district in Lagos, Nigeria, known for its energetic mix of commerce, culture, and resilience. It is a place where opportunity and chaos thrive together, reflecting the city's dynamic spirit. Before Oshodi became a symbol of Lagos hustle, it was a quiet settlement occupied by the Awori people, one of the earliest Yoruba subgroups in the region. The name Oshodi is believed to have been derived from Balogun Oshodi Tapa, a war captain under the famous Yoruba warrior Oba Kosoko. With Lagos' rapid development, Oshodi became a key transportation hub connecting different parts of the city. By 1970 and 1980s, it had become a bustling marketplace and a major stop for people traveling through Lagos. Today, Oshodi is a lively and busy place full of people, market stalls, and activities from morning to night. It is known for being the energetic heart of Lagos and a challenging area due to the crowd and traffic. Despite the chaos, Oshodi shows the strength and determination of the people who live and work there. In recent years, Oshodi underwent one of the most ambitious urban transformations in Lagos history, the birth of Oshodi Transport Interchange. This multi-terminal megastructure was designed to tame the chaos, bringing the modern transport system to one of Africa's busiest cities. Beneath the modern facade, the original Oshodi also lives on. Traders still line the side streets, food vendors still serve steaming plates of jollof rice, and thousands still rely on this place as the start or end of their daily journey. To the outsider, Oshodi might look like the unfiltered chaos, but to those who know its streets, it is an ecosystem, a place where the rule of survival, negotiation, and community are learned on the go. From sunrise to moonlight, Oshodi is a reminder of Lagos' unyielding energy, a place where the city's past, present, and future collide all in 1 square mile of unstoppable motion. Oshodi isn't just a place on the map, it is a testament to the Nigerian will to thrive no matter the odds. Welcome to Oshodi, the hustle capital of Lagos.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more.
Join me on Sundays every 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Voice of the People TV.
Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Step into a world where stories unfold, secrets unravel, and dreams come alive. Every story has a legacy. Every legacy holds the power to inspire. A unique interview series that celebrates the lives of Nigeria's elder statesmen and women through their remarkable journeys in the military, diplomacy, public service, academia, medicine, and beyond. Conversation that transcends generations, offering guidance to youth leaders, diplomats, technocrats, and future change makers. We unveil the wisdom, resilience, and achievements that shapes our nation and the world. Join us every Sunday on Voice of the People Television. Reminiscence, legacies that lead the way, stories that lives on.
Everybody keep watching Voice of the People. All right? Love you all.
Hello, sweetie. What's going on? My name is Kiki. Keep watching VOP TV. Thanks.
Hey guys, what's going on? Olumide Oru, the Fresh Prince of Lagos here, and this is VOP TV, guys.
Hello guys, I want you to please keep on watching VOP TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hafiz Oyetoro. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Shout out to VOP TV.
Very big shout out to the fans and lovers of VOP TV. My name is Tayo Faduro. I'm an actor that you are going to live to love. Keep watching. Cheers.
Hi everyone, so shout out to VOP TV.
Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. It's the fundamental right of everyone to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health, without distinction of race, religion, or political belief. On VOP TV, we bring you Health Check, a show that x-rays different health issues and provides solutions with the help of experts in the medical field. Join us every Saturday, 2 p.m. on Health Check. Health Check on VOP TV. Your health, our priority. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday. Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Oshodi is a vibrant, bustling district in Lagos, Nigeria, known for its energetic mix of commerce, culture, and resilience. It is a place where opportunity and chaos thrive together, reflecting the city's dynamic spirit. Before Oshodi became a symbol of Lagos hustle, it was a quiet settlement occupied by the Awori people, one of the earliest Yoruba subgroups in the region. The name Oshodi is believed to have been derived from Balogun Oshodi Tapa, a war captain under the famous Yoruba warrior Oba Kosoko. With Lagos' rapid development, Oshodi became a key transportation hub connecting different parts of the city. By 1970 and 1980s, it had become a bustling marketplace and a major stop for people traveling through Lagos. Today, Oshodi is a lively and busy place full of people, market stalls, and activities from morning to night. It is known for being the energetic heart of Lagos and a challenging area due to the crowd and traffic. Despite the chaos, Oshodi shows the strength and determination of the people who live and work there. In recent years, Oshodi underwent one of the most ambitious urban transformations in Lagos history, the birth of Oshodi Transport Interchange. This multi-terminal megastructure was designed to tame the chaos, bringing the modern transport system to one of Africa's busiest cities. Beneath the modern facade, the original Oshodi also lives on. Traders still line the side streets, food vendors still serve steaming plates of jollof rice, and thousands still rely on this place as the start or end of their daily journey. To the outsider, Oshodi might look like the unfiltered chaos, but to those who know its streets, it is an ecosystem, a place where the rule of survival, negotiation, and community are learned on the go. From sunrise to moonlight, Oshodi is a reminder of Lagos' unyielding energy, a place where the city's past, present, and future collide all in 1 square mile of unstoppable motion. Oshodi isn't just a place on the map, it is a testament to the Nigerian will to thrive no matter the odds. Welcome to Oshodi, the hustle capital of Lagos.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more.
Join me on Sundays every 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Voice of the People TV.
Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Step into a world where stories unfold, secrets unravel, and dreams come alive. Every story has a legacy. Every legacy holds the power to inspire. a unique interview series that celebrates the lives of Nigeria's elder statesmen and women through their remarkable journeys in the military, diplomacy, public service, academia, medicine, and beyond. Conversation that transcends generations, offering guidance to youth leaders, diplomats, technocrats, and future change makers. We unveil the wisdom, resilience, and achievements that shapes our nation and the world. Join us every Sunday on Voice of the People Television. Reminiscence, legacies that leads the way, stories that lives on.
Everybody keep watching Voice of the People. All right? Love you all.
Hello, sweetie. What's going on? My name is Kiki. Keep watching VOP TV. Thanks.
Hey guys, what's going on? Midday, the Fresh Prince of Lagos here, and this is VOP TV, guys.
Hello guys, I want you to please keep on watching VOP TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hafiz Oyetoro. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Shout out to VOP TV.
Very big shout out to the fans and lovers of VOP TV. My name is Fanyuro. I'm an actor that you are going to live to love. Keep watching. Cheers.
Hi everyone, so shout out to VOP TV.
Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. It's the fundamental right of everyone to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health without distinction of race, religion, or political belief. On VOP TV, we bring you Health Check, a show that x-rays different health issues and provides solutions with the help of experts in the medical field. Join us every Saturday, 2 p.m. on Health Check. Health Check on VOP TV. Your health, our priority. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday. Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hello and welcome to the African News on Voice of the People Television. I am David Edwin. Before we begin the news, we would urge you to kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending stories. We would also want to let you know that the President of Nigeria is on a state visit to Anambra State to commission projects in the state. Live feedback from that state will be coming your way as the news progresses. Beginning the African news from Sudan, where fighting along the Nile River in South Sudan has prevented humanitarian aid from reaching more than 60,000 malnourished children in the northeast of the country for almost a month. Two United Nations agency has said this on Thursday. The UN's World Food Programme, that's the WPF, an agency for children, UNICEF, said they expect nutrition supplies for Upper Nile State, which has some of the highest rates of malnutrition in the country, to run out by the end of May. The Nile is a crucial transport artery in South Sudan because the impoverished country has few paved roads and a lot of challenging terrain, particularly during the rainy season when many roads become impassable. In a joint WPF-UNICEF statement, Mary Ellen McGrotty, the WPF's representative in South Sudan, said children are already the first to suffer during the emergencies, adding that if the WPF-UNICEF can't get nutrition supplies through, they are likely to see escalating malnutrition in areas already at breaking point. Meanwhile, the Qatar-Somalia Joint Committee on Labour have convened under the chairmanship of Minister of Labour Ali bin Shmak Al-Mari, together with Minister of Labour and Social Affairs of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Yusuf Adan. The committee examined recent developments in bilateral cooperation within the labour sector and matters relevant to it, placing particular emphasis on strengthening the regulatory framework for workforce recruitment. The meeting also discussed measures to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. The United Arab Emirates Foreign Ministry said on Wednesday it did not recognize a decision by Sudan's Army-affiliated Defense Council to sever ties with the Gulf country. The Sudanese Defense Council said on Sunday it would cut ties with the UAE over Army accusation that Abu Dhabi supplied rival Rapid Support Forces paramilitaries with advanced and strategic weapons. The council said the weapons had enabled the RSF to carry out damaging strike, including with drones on facilities in the Red Sea city of Port Sudan since Sunday, a major escalation in the country's two-year-old civil war. China has voiced its firm support for Egypt's sovereignty over the Suez Canal. Speaking at a news conference, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Li Jian emphasized that Egypt's management and operational rights of the waterway are indisputable. Jian affirmed that China opposes all forms of bullying, whether in words or actions. You may recall that U.S. President Donald Trump had proposed that American ships should pass through the Suez Canal free of charge, a proposal which drew strong criticism from MPs and political experts. Meanwhile, Egyptian Minister of Public Business Sector Mohammed Shimi has met with board chairman of Turkish Sahila Group, Kamel Sahin, to explore potential cooperation between the groups and companies affiliated with the ministry. Shimi highlighted the ministry's comprehensive strategy aimed at improving the performance of state-owned companies, enhancing sustainability, and fostering governance and transparency to create an attractive investment environment. He emphasized the goal of boosting operational efficiency, maximizing state assets, returns, and improving the quality of product and services. On his part, Sahin presented an overview of Sahinla Group and its diversified operations across multiple sectors, including garments, construction, free zone management, tourism, hotel, and food and beverages. He expressed the group's interest in expanding into the Egyptian market, citing the country's promising industrial investment tourism potential and its willingness to collaborate with Egypt's public sector companies, particularly in textiles and tourism. Mali has suspended political activities across the country ahead of a planned protest against the military junta that has ruled since coup in 2020 and 2021. The West African country's political parties are demanding a return to constitutional order and a presidential election, and they were expected to gather for a demonstration tomorrow. However, the military government said in a statement read on state that activities of political parties and other political organizations had been suspended until further notice to preserve public order. Last week, a national conference of political actors recommended naming junta leader Assimi Goïta as president with a 5-year mandate. The conference also recommended the dissolution of all political parties and the tightening of conditions for the creation of new parties. In response to that announcement, a coalition of political parties held a demonstration on May the 3rd saying Malians were not represented in the conference. The junta originally committed to holding elections in February 2022, but that timeline has been pushed back several times. Meanwhile, Barrick Mining is spending $15 million a month to keep its Mali mine running and doesn't know where Mali's government is keeping the gold it's confiscated from the Canadian company. CEO Mark Bristow did say on Wednesday. In an interview about the long-running conflict with authorities in the West African nation, Bristow said the government there had walked back on an agreement to settle a tax dispute 3 times and called the jailing of 4 Barrick employees in the country a human rights violation. He said that the jailed executives of Barrick have worked harder for Mali than the people who are currently leading negotiations for its government. Barrick and Mali's government have been locked in a dispute for more than 6 months over the Lolo Gunkoto complex, Barrick's largest mine in Mali. In addition to arresting the 4 Barrick employees, authorities confiscated around 3 metric tons of gold in January following accusation that Barrick was not in compliance with its tax obligations, prompting the miner to shut down the mine. Based on the current gold price, reports say the value of the confiscated gold is around $318 million. Well, joining us now to make sense of this story is Mr. Peter Anosike, who is Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst and, of course, an economist by profession. Mr. Peter, a very good afternoon to you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm going to start off from Nigeria, and interestingly, the president is in Anambra State on a state visit, of course, for the commissioning of some projects in that state. Let's have your take on that visit, because some quarters have said that this is about the first time in a long while that a president from an opposition party would want to visit the state to commission projects in the state.
It's not correct. When Peter Obi was the governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi was of Awka.
Yes.
Olusegun Obasanjo of PDP came there to commission a project.
Right.
The president is the father of the whole country, irrespective of the political party's affiliation. So, so this is not the first time, and this is not a political issue. This is an issue of development,
right?
And it is a positive one. He is going there because the governor is doing something.
Okay.
He's not going to, as I said before, he's not going there to declare state of emergency. He's going there for development. So it shows that the governor is doing something. Okay. Understand? I am throughout the 8 years of Muhammadu Buhari.
Right.
The current Baguda, who is a minister in Tinubu's administration now was the governor of Kebbi State, and he was the chairman of APC Governors Forum. For 8 years, Baguda did not call Buhari to come and commission even one single road project. So this is not a party thing.
Okay. Now, let's look at the fact that the president is commissioning, like you did mention, some good works of the governor of Anambra State. A lot of persons have said that Governor Chukwuma Soludo is relatively doing what quite a very few number of the eastern governors have done in the past. You would recall that the present governor of Abia State, I'm talking about Alex Oti, also have been having some projects, and he's not called anybody to commission those projects. But I'm going to stay with Anambra State. From your perspective, does it tell that Governor Chukwuma Soludo is doing quite a lot of positive for the people of Anambra State? And if that question has a yes as an answer, maybe you help Africans point out some of the things that you've identified that he's been doing in the past couple of years that he's been there.
Well, I'm a student of history. I'm an economist, and I like talking based on facts, based on realities.
Right.
The Soludo's predecessor, Winnie Obiano, for 8 years had only 87 kilometers of roads. Only 87 kilometers of roads. But in 3 years, Soludo has built more than 400 kilometers of road. So imagine somebody who used 8 years to do 87 kilometers, and somebody in 3 years did 400 and...
What would you attribute to the difference in disparity?
One, government is just about the character of the person.
Okay.
For the past 3 years, Soludo has not borrowed a single kobo. Understand? All the projects that he has been frugal, he has been prudent in resource management.
Okay.
And again, he's a professor of economics.
Yeah.
So he
a former governor of the CBN.
So he is managing the resources of the state very, very well. So he has not added a debt, understand me, to any son or daughter of Anambra State.
Now that's also going to take me to another conversation now. You did say he did not, or he has not acquired any debt, of course, to the people of Anambra State. Economically, what does that portend for that state going forward? You would recall that the President Peter Obi also had so much precedence like that.
Surplus of 75 billion naira.
Now, looking at that kind of precedence, with the fact that Governor Chukwuma Soludo is doing practically the same thing, what does that portend for the economy of that state in the next 3-4 years? And of course, can there be a sustainable plan to such projects?
That's always the problem. That's continuity.
Right.
Understand? Having the person with the same mindset, the same. That's what is known as growth mindset. So, but this is what Peter Obiano was not able to sustain Peter Obi's tempo. So he reduced what Peter Obi is doing and put Anambra State in a debt.
Right.
Somebody who inherited a green account left it in red. So Soludo has to come and start building all over. And I don't know who might take over from Soludo, whether he will continue from where Soludo stopped or is going to bring it down.
Government is a continuum, Mr. Peter Adosike. But
who is continuing?
That's the question I was going to ask you. As it stands, a lot of persons have said that as it stands, the president is also trying to pitch his tent or find his way into the hearts of the Easterners. But the question now would be, is there the possibility that the government, I beg your pardon, the president, is also trying to lobby for some level of recognition in the Southeast? Because you would recall, during the last 2023 election, he did not get any states.
I'm seeing the same thing in 2027 because because Igbo people have very high standard. Igbo people has a very high standard, and they don't always patronize bad products. If you look throughout the elections in the country, Igbo people don't vote bad candidates. Okay. Understand? I will vote good candidates, whether the person wins or not is not the issue. In 2019, Igbos vote for Atiku Obi, and they did not win. Right. Understand me? In 2023, Igbos vote for Peter Obi, and he did not win. So we vote people who has the capacity to turn the economy of the country around. So Tinubu has not shown that capacity.
Okay, now I'm still going to stay with that election, which is going to bring me to the issue of delayed transition in Mali. But before I go there, some persons have said, just like you said now, that Igbo people, the Igbos, now the Southeasterners have a way of electing good product. But some states in the Southeast have suffered as a result of the character of some other governors. Abia State is an example. And of course, you did mention Willie Obiano of Anambra State as well. At this point, do you think that the people should be more aware and of course ask questions of accountability when they elect their governors, knowing for a fact that these ones, the Soludo, Chukwuma Soludo, and of course Alex Oti, are doing things, even the David Umahi, before he left Ebonyi State, are working? Do you think they should be clamoring for more accountability with the governors that they elect in their state?
The thing should be, what is the character and reputation of the person that you want to give your mandate? Understand me? What character is who somebody is. Reputation is what that person is known for. Understand me? So these are the two things. From 1999 to 2023, Abia had the worst governors. There were no foundation for anybody that to build on. The first governor of Abia State, that's Ojo Zakano, was a total failure. So Theodoji, who succeeded him, has nothing to build on.
Even Ikwazu was even more.
It was the same thing. So that's why Abians were praying for somebody from a different background.
Okay.
So now, an ex-Oti came, who was a former First Bank and Diamond Bank MD. So you can see where he is coming from. The same thing with a Soludo, right, who is a CBN governor. These people have an idea of the economy.
Okay.
Understand me? And economy teaches you how to make use of scarce resources. And that's why Soludo has not borrowed.
Okay.
So the character and reputation of a person that you are giving your mandate is very, very important.
All right, now we're still going to talk character, and of course it's going to bring us to the conversation of delayed transition in Mali. The Mali government has suspended political activities across the country ahead of a planned protest against the military junta that has ruled since the coup in 2020 and of course 2021. Looking at these kind of movements, Mr. Peter, what's your take about, of course, you know how military junta do operate. It's not the first time that we will be experiencing such across Africa.
For me, you should be careful with what you wish for. It may not turn out good.
How do you mean?
These guys are wishing for civilian regime.
Right.
But civilian dictatorship is worse than military dictatorship. Understand me?
In Africa?
Civilian dictatorship is worse than military dictatorship.
Are you saying in Africa or the rest of the world, as it's were?
There's no country outside Africa that has a military in power.
Okay.
Yes. So in a military dictatorship, you just have few people in power.
Right.
But in a civilian dictatorship, you have a whole lot of extensionists, manipulators, oppressors. Understand me? Everywhere you see a governor having more than 500 aides. You cannot have that in a military.
Same government that say they want to cut down on the cost of governance.
So the issue for me, it is not about the profession of the person that is holding power. Understand me? but compassion, empathy. Understand me? Ibrahim Traore is a military man.
Okay.
But when he wanted to set up a transition committee, his people went to the streets and protested that he should continue. So it is not about whether he's a civilian or a military, but how compassionate he is. Is he able to feel what his people are feeling? They may get a civilian president who will be worse than the guy in power. That's why I say it is not about the system that's in operation.
Okay, now looking at the fact that a national conference of political actors did recommend the junta leader, Simi Goita, as president with a 5-year mandate. That's the recommendation of the National Conference of Political Actors. But then some other persons in government or in the ousted government are saying, no, we have to have a democratic election that would elect a president. Do you think that as it stands, Mali is, the Malians are maybe still having a bit of love for the democratic rule rather than the military junta?
That's what I'm saying, because the Western world has brainwashed Africans that military rule has become unpopular. Military rule has become unpopular because it is not benefiting them. Because the world is all about interest.
Okay.
Understand me? So and when these people come, they will chase the Europeans out of their country. As it happened in Mali, happened in Burkina Faso, happened in Niger. So they don't want military rule. But for me, what is paramount is the welfare of the people.
Okay.
Any system that can take good care of the people should continue. Understand me? That's why I even want Traore to be there in the next 10 years.
Some persons have said that this guy is calling for an election, a presidential election, are being powered and sponsored by some quarters in the West because of the interest, like you mentioned a couple of minutes ago. Do you share this opinion as well? And then if the answer is yes, how can the military junta in Mali do better to please her people? Because it's looking like some persons are aggrieved, even though they are being induced.
They're granted, yeah. So I said this is what foreign powers do. They always use people to even kill their own people, because a lot of the coups in Africa were sponsored and financed from abroad. Understand? If somebody is in exile, they would equip that person, empower that person to come to his country and overthrow a government, and the person will become their own puppet.
Yeah.
So when something is not benefiting them, they'll begin to look for ways of eliminating that. So for me, the government in power should emulate what Traore is doing.
Okay, now again, the junta originally committed to holding elections sometime in February 2022, but that timeline has passed, and the pushback has been on several occasions. What do you think, from your perspective, is the reason for that pushback? Do you think it's also as a result of the intels that they've been getting about the West wanting to infiltrate the system with insecurity? Or do you think something else is the reason why the junta has been moving back on these dates?
If the people are not security or the post is important, understand? Right. Then if the people are not happy with what they are getting, a German philosopher in the name of Jerry Bentham said that the purpose of government is the happiness of the greater number of people in the society. That the purpose of any government should be the happiness of the greater number of people in a society. He used that word, greater number of people, because there's no way everybody will be happy.
Be pleased.
Sure, understand me. So, but if the greater number of people in a country is happy, they want that system to continue. So the man, I don't want to use the European word that you are using, junta. Understand me? So it's a colonial word.
All right.
So the guy should make sure that he is doing what their people want. And if it becomes too bad, most presidents in the country transited from military to presidency.
Okay.
Understand me?
So automatically, if it gets that worse, they could transition to a democratic rule.
Yes.
Now, help Africans run through the story behind the Libyan ousted leader, the late Muammar Gaddafi, and the aftermath of Libya as a country. Just opposing it with what the citizens of Mali are, well, not all the citizens, some citizens are clamoring for right now. In the long run, do you think it would favor the economy and, of course, the security of the people?
Well, it depends on what is happening in Bamako. That's the capital
of
Mali. So it depends on how they are faring. But the issue is that we have seen everywhere in the world that one, Gaddafi was not killed by his own people. It was America that killed Gaddafi.
I mean, it's all over the place. One House of Representatives, former House of Rep member of the U.S. did say same thing. So
understand me?
Yes.
So it's America that killed Gaddafi, and the last word that Gaddafi said before he died was, "What did I do to you people?" Because he wanted a unified Africa. He was the founder of AU. You know, before we used to have OAU.
Yes.
So Libya was behind AU. Understand me? And he wants a gold-denominated economy, a gold-denominated Africa. And if that thing had become possible, America would have gone down. Because what the people don't know is that America has been deceiving the world since 1974.
Okay.
America has been deceiving all the world since 1974.
How do you mean?
Because it was from before Ghana currency American currency used to be gold denominated.
Okay.
Understand me? It was Richard Nixon that removed it from being gold denominated to just paper money. That was in 1974.
Okay.
So now, assuming that America is owing you, understand, all they need to do is to go to their mint, print $1 billion and give you. They didn't lose anything. Understand?
Okay.
So, do you see that the fraud that America has been committing, which out of fear, the people, other countries refuse to kick against it? Because the Bretton Woods Conference of 1944 handed the world over to America. Because America stopped the Second World War when they threw the atomic bomb to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So the Bretton Woods is what gave America the dominating power. Then dollar become the universal currency. Understand? But then it was still gold denominated until 1974 when Richard Nixon now turned it into paper money. So today, dollar is not standing on anything. So if I'm owing you and I have a mint that's in my room, I just go print how much I'm owing and give to you. I don't lose anything. Understand me?
Right.
So this is what America has been fooling the world up to today.
Now, that again is one reason why Muammar Gaddafi practically wanted to have Africa to have her own currency.
That's the thing.
And of course, that would give the dollar some high level of devaluation.
And that was why your own African brother, Barack Obama, killed him.
Quite an unfortunate story there. Let's get to another conversation, Mr. Peter. China is voicing major support for Egypt's sovereignty over Suez Canal. You would also recall that the president of the U.S., I'm talking about Donald Trump, had, proposed that American ships will be passing through the Suez Canal free of charge without paying anything. So China right now is backing the Egyptian government over the sole ownership of Suez Canal. This, you think, is a laudable development, or you think China also has something as interest?
The word is about interest, but the word is nobody's a fanatic.
That statement seems to be very huge whenever you say it, and I try to
human being is about interest.
Mm.
I've told people that there's a very big difference between a good Samaritan and a wise Samaritan. That's a very big difference between
that's another switch on every point.
But so it's all about the interest. Suez Canal is one of the most important sea. That's where ships pass. Understand me? So Egypt have been making a lot of revenue from that.
Mm.
Understand? But now, Donald Trump last week said that he is not just ruling America, he is ruling the whole world. Understand? So, he wants everything free.
Mm.
Panama free. Remember 2 days ago, he told the new Prime Minister of Canada, it will be a very beautiful dream if Canada joins the United States and become the 51 states.
He's practically saying almost everything around the world should be to the U.S.
But mind you, Canada in land mass is more than the United States.
Right.
Then how can now Canada become just a state? Understand me?
Mm.
So Donald Trump wants everything free. So that's what the Chinese Prime Minister said no, it shouldn't be.
Okay. Now, again, looking at the fact that the Chinese government is voicing their support for Egypt at this point, do you also think that the proposal from Donald Trump would maybe see the light of the day with Egypt giving into it? Because you would recall, there is also the conversation of wanting to rebuild the Gaza Strip, which Egypt is spearheading as well.
So there's conflict. There's conflict. A lot of Arab countries don't want America to take over Gaza. So Egypt want to help to fund it. Understand me? So this now it depends on if Egypt would withstand Donald Trump fire and power. Okay. Because the next thing that he would do is to impose
sanctions,
tariff on Egyptian-made goods.
Now, before I let you go, in a couple of seconds from now, just wrap up this conversation. China voicing support for Egypt. One and some quarters have said, would France maybe voice her support for Nigeria if, in the case of insecurity and in the case of the U.S. maybe putting on higher tariff, would France do the same for Nigeria? You would recall that the Nigerian president and, of course, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, have been in some good relationship relatively. Do you think France would also have their voice?
I say, the word is about interest. So Emmanuel Macron and as an individual and France will check which one will favor, will favor them more. Is it supporting Nigeria or being on the same page with the United States?
Okay, now, the world is a place and a world of interest. I'm still going to come back to Nigeria. Governor Chukwuma Soludo, do you think that he's also trying to find higher interest with the presidency, I mean, Aso Rock as a whole, by inviting the president to come commission places and projects in Anambra State?
One of the projects that is being commissioned is the new Anambra State Government House. And there's no other person who should commission a government house other than the president. If it's Anambra Sun City, or the minister of tourism, whatever can come. So it depends on the project. So for me, it is official assignment that's from the president.
Okay.
And Soludo has no competitor in his November election.
All right.
He's going to win free and square. The APC candidate has no footing in Anambra.
All right, this is where we have to draw the curtain on the analysis segment of the African News this beautiful afternoon. We've been talking with Mr. Peter Anosike, who is Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst and an economist by profession. Once again, Mr. Peter, thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you, too.
The rest of the African News will continue shortly, just after this quick break. Just stay with us. Glad to have you back in the studio. African News right here on Voice of the People Television. Now to more stories. Immigrant rights advocates asked a federal judge in Boston on Wednesday to block the Donald Trump administration from sending migrants subject to final orders of deportation to Libya or any country en route to there, including Saudi Arabia. The advocates made the request to a federal judge who had barred the administration from swiftly deporting migrants to countries other than their own without first hearing any concerns they had that they might be tortured or persecuted if sent there. Moving on to other stories, South Africa's state-owned airline says a cyber attack on Saturday temporarily disrupted its website and several internal operations systems. The airline disclosed that the attack also affected its mobile operations and application, but noted that the IT team was able to contain the incident and minimize disruption to core flight operations and regulations. The company's CEO, John Lamola, said that they were currently investigating the incident to determine the root cause and are looking into the potential leak of sensitive information. He further disclosed that the company reported the incident to the State Security Agency, the South African Police Service, and the Information Regulator of South Africa as a precautionary measure. Moving on, Gabon's recent swap of regional market bonds and bills did not amount to a distressed debt exchange, which means the country avoided a default, rating company Fitch said on Thursday. Fitch, which rates Gabon CCC 8 notches below investment grade, said the exercise streams 2025 repayment by the equivalent of 1.4% of GDP this year and 0.8% in 2026. The Fitch report said the limited scale of the exchange relative to Gabon's financing needs means it was not designed to avert a traditional payment default. The government said on April the 28th that around 10 financial institutions had agreed to extend the maturities on 592 billion CFA, that's about $1.03 billion of treasury bill. Fitch downgraded Gabon's rating to CCC in January based on heightened liquidity strains. The government raised money in the private placement of U.S. foreign debt in February of this year at a yield of 12.7%, the highest ever for an African Eurobond issuance. You're still watching the African News right here on Voice of the People Television. More stories in business and sports after this break. Just stay with us. Glad to have you back. It is still African News right here on Voice of the People Television. Now to some business stories. The African Export-Import Bank, through its Development Impact Investment arm, the Fund for Export Development in Africa, has unveiled a $1 billion African Film Fund to revolutionize the continent's film and creative industry. The fund, launched under the Creative African Nexus program, aims to support the production and global distribution of African films and television content, addressing key infrastructure and financing challenges that have stifled growth in the sector. The bank disclosed in a statement that the African Film Fund will be managed through FEDA as a private equity vehicle, offering a long-term capital to enable the creation of high-quality content and empower African storytellers to compete globally. President of Afrexim Bank, Benedict Oroma, stated that the establishment of the African Film Fund is timely and it will help accelerate the growth of Africa's creative sector, which has witnessed rapid growth but continues to face significant challenges, including funding, scaling, and accessing global markets. Still talking business, Ivory Coast, the world's biggest cashew grower, has raised its projected output to 1.3 million metric tons from 1.15 million tons, even as potential U.S. tariffs and a falling dollar drag down exports, the head of the sector regulator told newsmen. The production increase stems in part from curbs on the smuggling of raw cashew to neighboring Ghana and Burkina Faso, Mamadou Beze of the Cotton and Cashew Council did say. At the same time, Vietnamese buyers have drastically cut purchases of Ivorian raw cashews for processing in response to U.S. tariff, Betty did say. According to Betty, Vietnam usually buys 80% of Ivory Coast cashew production, of which 60% is re-exported to the United States. But Betty said Vietnamese buyers have only purchased 200,000 tons of raw cashew for this year, compared with 700,000 to 800,000 tons for last year. And to wrap up the African news, we'll go straight to some sports stories. Former Manchester City midfielder Yaya Toure is expected to arrive in Nairobi, Kenya, ahead of two big European clashes taking place on Sunday, 11th of May, 2025. Football fans in Kenya are in for an electrifying experience as Kenya presents Football Fiesta with a blend of live sports, music, and celebrity appearances. Arsenal will be traveling to Anfield to take on champions-elect Liverpool in the English Premier League clash, while Barcelona will be playing Real Madrid in yet another El Clasico clash between the Spanish giants. The headline attraction for the event is none other than the arrival of Yaya Toure, who will host the ultimate football fan experience. Fans will get the rare opportunity to enjoy back-to-back blockbuster clashes on giant screens, including high-stake fixtures featuring all four European giants in action. Complementing the football thrills will be live performances by chart-topping artists Focalistic and Kenya's own Nikita Kering, adding a vibrant musical flair to the afternoon and evening. Still talking sports, Cameroonian teenager David Yannick Bandoma has started a trial period with Ligue 1 side OGC Nice as the French club continues its search for emerging talents on the African continent. The 16-year-old attacking midfielder, who currently plays for Oyili FC in Cameroon, has been invited to spend a few days in the OGC Nice Youth Academy for a trial. Bundoma has built a growing reputation for his game, intelligence, and technical precision and collective dedication. These qualities have attracted the interest of European scouts who are monitoring the next wave of talent in African football. His invitation to trial with OGC Knights reflects both his rising profile and the French club's commitment to recruiting players with long-term potential. And with that sports story, we've come to the end of African news right here on Voice of the People Television, as edited and aligned by Obiora Henry. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Thank you so very much for being a part of this broadcast. I am David Edwin. Do have a good afternoon.